our YouTube channel. This is Sammy and Buzo. Yeah, we're so excited to be talking to you again in this episode, and we believe you're going to have a nice time watching us.
Yes. If you are seeing us for the first time, please watch this video, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and we'll appreciate you.
And for those who have already subscribed, we say thank you for being loyal, and we appreciate you for watching us, and we see you sharing our videos to people it's getting to places. We appreciate you, and we say kudos to you. In this episode today, we're going to be dissecting a very important topic that we should address. There are things you should discuss with your partner before you say I do. Yes, of course. Let's assume you've seen someone you love to marry, the exact height you want, the exact complexion, you've seen your exact specifications, your perfect man. You both will be going into a relationship, and this is the time to know each other better. There are things you both should agree on, things you should talk about before you finally say I do, and you will say let's get married.
For the fact that you are in a relationship now and you have seen someone you would like to marry does not mean that you people will have agreement in some things, and that is why you have to talk about these important things we will be telling you in this video. So when two of you agree on those things, then you can say I do.
That's awesome. Remember, you both are two different, unique individuals. You are from different background. You had different orientations, different parenting. Probably you went to different school, so different academic qualifications. But you have to come together, discuss things together, and see if your views, if your values are the same thing, if your goals in life matches, or if they go hand in hand. If it's someone you can get married to, this is the stage you can discuss all those topics. And let me tell you, most of the time these are not comfortable discussions, these are not easy discussions, but make sure you discuss these issues with your partner and you agree before you go into marriage with your partner. It is very essential for you to have this discussion, because it is better to make a good choice from the beginning so you won't regret why you get into the marriage with such individual.
Now let's talk about those things you need to discuss before you get married to your partner. Number one, discuss your personal values. What do you value?
Your personal values. When you're talking about your personal values, those are the issues that you hold in high esteem. Those are the things that you are interested in, your perception about life. It could be about religious belief, alcohol consumption, smoking, your academic career. You have to discuss all these things that are so dearly to you. These are your own personal values, things that always bothers you, or things that you think are very important in your life. Also, part of your personal values could be definition of trust, monogamy, polygamy, interest about having sexual relationship with same sex. Those are the things you want to discuss with your partner. You want to make sure you agree and you're on the same page, or you share the same interest in all those values of yours. Something that is important to you and you know they may cause issue for you in future or in your relationship. You need to talk about your partner and see how you could adjust, or how you could move together treating those issues. Until you agree on those issues, do not move forward.
Number two, you talk about your life goals, what you want to achieve in your life, like buying a house, going forward in your career, Where do you want to stay? Do you want to stay in another country, like traveling out of the country where you are to another country? Would you like to do that? You talk about it with your partner. Also talk about the kind of job you would like to work. Do you like to be a night shift worker or a morning shift worker? Talk about your life goals, everything you want to achieve in life. Do you want to own your own business as a CEO, or you want to work under somebody, or you want to work from home, a stay-at-home mom, and all that? Talk about your life goals with your partner and make sure you're on the same page.
The next issue you need to talk about is about having children. Yeah, I know majority of people in the relationship value having children together, but you need to talk about this issue with your partner. That after you get married, how soon will you like to have children? We've had some couples that prefer to pursue their career to the zenith of their career before they start having children. If this is what your partner values, you need to talk about it. And also, you need to talk about the number of children that you want to have together. So some may tell you they want 10 children, some may tell you they want a whole football team, that's 11 with some reserve on the bench. Some may tell you that they just want two, some may say one. So it depends. You have to decide this at the beginning. Make sure you agree on the number of kids you want to have. Yes, it is very interesting when you are discussing about children with your partner. You need to remember that there are also issues with childbearing. One of them is miscarriages. If you have miscarriages or you have delay in having children, is your partner willing to stick with you? Is he or she willing to stay with you for a long time, like 5, 10 years? We've seen couples who have lived together for 20, 30 years without kids. Or is your partner ready to stay this long? You need to talk about all these issues because you don't know what life is going to throw at you. So have this discussion together. Make sure you're on the same page, that you agree that even you have delay in having children because of infertility or because of miscarriages, that you're still going to stick together, and this will not be a big factor to separate you in future. Talk about this is very important. Also about having kids, you need to talk with your partner, agree together right now that what are you going to do in case you have kids with disability or you have the special kids. We usually call them special kids. Those are kids with some form of disabilities. So discuss this with your partner, that if peradventure this happen, that we have a child or children with birth defects, how will you handle this? Or are you prepared to take care of these kids? Talk about it. It is very important. Although as you move forward in your relationship and anything of such happens, yes, you still have a whole time to talk to counselors, to talk with the doctors or your healthcare provider. They will talk to you about it, but you need to mention it right now so you can prepare his mind. You want to know how mature your man is to handle such situation, or how mature your woman is. So it is good to have this discussion as well.
Another important point to talk about is relationship with family members. Yes, of course, you and your partner, when you get married, you are going to put each other first. But because you are coming from a family, you still have family members that would like to relate with you. So how do you put them into your plan? Your in-laws, how often do you want them to come to visit you? If a family member is sick, how will you take care of them? How will you render help to any of the family member? You have to discuss it, because this also causes some trouble in some families. We've heard of some families that will say the daughter-in-law does not want the mother-in-law to come into the family. So you have to talk about this ahead of time, and this will really help you as you go in your journey.
One other important topic you should discuss with your partner is your religious belief. This has caused a lot of troubles in so many homes. Humans have spiritual needs which need to be met. So you need to talk about your spiritual needs, your religious belief. This happens most of the time when you are from different religious background. Maybe you don't even believe in anything. You both need to talk together and agree about the differences in your religious belief. Sometimes you might actually come from the same religious background, the same denomination, but you or your partner might be having a kind of change of mind on how to raise kids in the future, or changing his own religious faith in the future. You have to talk about this. We've seen people who have different religious upbringing, and this has caused a big conflict in their relationship, in their marriage. Talk about it, it's gonna help you.
Yes, another point to talk about before you say I do is sex and intimacy.
Good.
Yes, of course, as Christians, the Bible does not want you to engage in premarital sex, but you still have to talk about it. Questions like, have you been abused before? Are you a virgin? So that by the time you get into marriage, you will know those things you have to prepare for. If one partner is a virgin and the other is not, you will know how to adjust after marriage. Then if both partners are virgins and you would like to see a coach, then you plan ahead for that. Then talk about those things, sexual fantasies you would like to have in your marriage. It is very important. You need to talk about it. Talk about their love languages. What do they like? What is their love language? So that you'll be able to love them the way they want to be loved. Yeah. Sex and intimacy in marriage is very, very important. So I would like my husband to say something about it. Babe, would you like to buttress on this point?
Sure.
Thank you.
Of course, this is one big deal in a lot of marriages or in a lot of homes. Talk about this topic at the beginning. Ask your partner how important sex is to them. There are a lot of differences in our sexual life. Some people may like to do it 24/7, morning, afternoon, and evening, if time permits them, if they have that opportunity. While some people feel like it's not food, I don't have time for that, maybe once a day or once a week. Some people may actually have a rota and say we can do it twice in a month, or only the time when we want to have children. That is when we want to have it. This is a very good discussion you need to have with your partner. Know their perception about sexual relationship or about intimacy. So know the definition about sex, the reason for having it. Is it just for having children, or a kind of bond that brings you both together, or is it kind of regular thing you have to do, or it's a kind of occasional activity that you have to do, maybe once a month or once a year. So some people are like that, they don't like it. You have to discuss this with them at the beginning. If this is something you can cope with, stuffing yourself with sex, you want to go along with a partner who loves to have it all the time, yes, it is good for you to discuss it. So talk about it and know what you are getting into. Don't get surprises when you get into the relationship. One other thing is about finances. Yes, it's one big deal. This can break the marriage into two. You see the husband looking for the wife with guns because of money. This is a major thing that you guys need to agree on before you get into the level of you're marrying one another. You need to understand and come to the same agreement that you need to handle your finances separate from my own, or let's agree to have a kind of joint account. If it's something that you feel that you're confident enough and you have that trust that your husband can do it, good for you. If you feel your wife is able to do that, good for you. And of course, if you believe that both of us can do it together, yes, you become signatories to the account. That is one thing. Secondly, there are issues in some homes when a man earns more than the wife, or the wife earns more than the husband. Some husbands don't like it when the wives make money than them, and some wives also don't like it when the husband makes money than them. So this issue, you have to discuss about it, and what is the contribution of both of you to the family development. What amount are you separating for this item? What are you using for this one? Maybe you're thinking of buying a house. Are you contributing 50-50, or are you contributing a kind of percentage? You guys need to agree on this. How do you want to be feeding? Who will be responsible for this? For your kids, who will be responsible for their school fees? Who will be responsible for buying clothes, buying toiletries, buying food items in the home? You have to talk about this so you don't have issues when you get married. Make sure you talk about all these issues. They are very important things you need to talk about when you're dealing with finances. Remember also, you have insurance to plan about, the form of insurance he or she wants you to have. So if you're having a kind of same insurance, or one insurance for one partner is going to be higher than the other, so you have to discuss all this. Then make sure you talk about your pension as well. How much do you want to be contributing to your pension? Make decision on this, because these are determinants of your future. These are the things you need to talk about so you don't have any conflict in the near future about finances. Have an agreement right from now. If it's something you can go with, yes, go into it. If it's something that is different from your belief or your understanding about finances, I'm sorry, you're going to have conflict in the future. So talk about it right now. Then you have a good grant for yourself, even if anything is coming up in the future. Also, under financial discussion, you need to talk about borrowing money, lending money to people. Are you borrowing for investment, or are you going to agree solely that any money we're going to borrow would be solely for investment purpose? You have to agree on this. If your husband or your wife to be is someone who likes to borrow money for party, yes, you need to know right from now. You need to know their interest about borrowing that. What do you see to it? What are those things you can borrow money for? Just throw that question to him or her. That why do you think we may need more? We may need to borrow money. Some people will tell you, if I have a big party, yes, I need to get a big amount, and I need to let everybody know that I'm here. I've arrived. No, you don't want to borrow money to throw party. You don't want to create a big liability for yourself. So you need to have this discussion with your partner and let them share their interest about borrowing to you. Again, if you are lending money to someone, talk to your partner, get their view about their interest, how giving money to someone. If you both agree that okay, we can lend money to people without collecting interest or without taking any collateral, or we can just give whatever we have these discussions together. And of course, if you want to help someone, also agree together. Do I need to know before you help someone, or do you need to tell me? How do you want to manage your home money, my home money? Do I need to tell you how I need to manage this money? So have these discussions together before you go into marriage. Agree on it, and you both will be good.
So another point that you would also like to talk about is legal decisions, and those topics under legal decisions are: would you like us to have a life insurance, your car insurance, house insurance, living will? For those that will be having a court wedding or marriage, what is the partner's perception about divorce? So you talk about those things. They are all under legal decisions, and when you're on the same page, then you can move ahead for your marriage.
The next issue you need to talk about with your partner, it's about resolving conflicts. You want to know if both of you will be able to resolve your conflict, or you want to invite someone to resolve conflict for you. You need to have this understanding that myself and you as my partner, we have to resolve our issues by ourselves. Any third person is an outsider in this relationship or in our marriage. So have this understanding right from the beginning that yes, it is enough for us to resolve our conflicts, and make sure you discuss it to details, that until we are having difficulty resolving conflicts, that is when we need to consult someone. Make sure you have the list of those people you have to contact, you have to consult for resolution of conflicts. You want to have that agreement that okay, will you prefer us to talk to your religious leader, or you want us to contact the courts, or you want us to contact a counselor, or you want me to contact your parent, or you want me to contact a significant person to you. You need to have this discussion so that when that time comes, if you are unable to resolve that conflict between the two of you, then you know the next thing to do, and this will not bring more issues within the marriage. So agree on this issue at now, discuss it, and know way forward how you need to handle conflict in your marriage. Another thing under conflict resolution is to have clear understanding if you want to resolve your conflicts in the middle of argument, or you want to settle and talk about it later. Some people would like to be, hey, come, let's discuss this right now. We need to talk right now. Or you want a kind of resolution that will come after effect, which simply means when you have settled, when your mind is settled, the anger is gone. Is this the time you want to resolve your conflict? Let your partner understand this, that hey, the best time for me to talk about conflict or to talk about any issue is when I'm cool off. At the heat of argument, I can do anything. I can do and undo. I can break things. I can scatter everything until I'm cool. I'm not ready to talk about anything. Yes, it is very good. So you will know the best time to approach your partner to talk about issues in your marriage. Also, you need to talk to your partner to know if they've been violent in the past, in the previous relationship, if any issue have come up between them and the previous partner, and how they were able to resolve it, or how things get worse. You need to have this understanding. This will guide you on things to know ahead and things to plan for. You want to also know if your partner has abused someone in the past, and what are those triggers. You need to know the triggers. So if you know those triggers, you want to point them down, and you want to avoid those triggers, or you work on those triggers so that your man or your woman can become better or can improve about those triggers. And again, you want to know anger management strategies. You want to know those strategies that your partner employs in the face of anger, or whenever he or she is angry, or during conflict management. this is very important topic you need to talk about, so you don't regret tomorrow when you see your partner throwing sticks at you, or is breaking everything in the home, or is transferring his aggression on the kids. So you need to know who you are dealing with before you get into the water. So before you get into the big water, try and test the water before you go into it. And how do you test the water before you go into it? Make sure you ask those questions.
Yeah.
Have that discussion. Talk to him, talk to her, know how to handle her better when you get those answers, when you get those feedbacks.
Another point you want to talk about is phone. Phone. Yes, this has caused so many issues in several marriages. Even on social media, you see a lot of comments about it. Talk about it. How do you want us to handle our phones? Do you want us to password them? Do you want me to know your password? How do you want to do it? Talk about it. Yes, do we use the same password? Do you want us to use the same email address and all those things? Talk about them, so that when you get into marriage, you will not start fighting because of your phones. If your partner says, I don't want you to know my password, if you can cope with it, then move into the marriage. But if you are the person that likes to know each other's password, then you can talk about it. If you're on the same page, then go ahead for your marriage. But if you're not on the same page and you feel that you can still look for a relationship counselor to talk to two of you, yes, you can do that also. But talk about this thing, phone.
The last point we're going to be mentioning about things you need to discuss with your partner before you get into the marriage proper is health issues. It is important to discuss your health issues with your partner. Your partner needs to know about your physical health, your mental well-being. These are so important. Make sure you disclose to your partner if you have any medical condition that it needs to know of. Of course, it needs to know about it. Just in case you're in crisis or anything happens, your partner needs to know about your health issues, so you can plan about it together, and it won't come as a surprise to him when you get into the marriage. Because sometimes some partners get disappointed when they find out that the partner has one issue about their health. If you have mental issue, it's not a crime. Let your partner know. Where there is love, trust me, your partner will be willing to work together with you, irrespective of your mental status or your medical conditions. They will be ready to work with you all the way. Trust me. And also, make sure you do premarital screenings. Know if you have any communicable diseases, if you have any issue with your hormones, the genotype, or any blood type. You need to know all this information. So at the tip of the finger, if there's anything in the family, your partner will quickly say, this is what she reacts to. So he or she needs to know about your allergies, things you don't take, things that cause issues with you, and your regular medications. This will really help you. So make sure you do premarital screening. You want to know if you both are compatible in terms of your genotype and your resource factor. Yes, these are just the basic ones. And you want to know if you have any communicable diseases. Of course, if you love someone, you don't want to transfer your communicable diseases to them. You get it treated before you come together, and this is a good way to go. And of course, your partner will have better trust in you, and they'll be willing to dine with you at any time of your trouble. We are humans, we can get sick anytime, but the thing we are saying here is, if you have any diagnosed ailments or known ailments from the beginning, make sure you discuss with your partner. Prepare their mind. Don't be afraid of being abandoned if you have an ailment. It is better for him to abandon you when you have not gotten into the big marriage than for him to abandon you when he knew or when she knew that you lied about this. So say the truth, let him or her know your health status.
These are some of the topics we feel you should talk about in your relationship before going into marriage. There are still some other points you should talk about. You can browse or talk to your marriage counselor. We talked about these points before getting married because we did a church wedding and there are some topics for us to talk about and agree on before we go ahead with the marriage. And so we feel if you talk about these points too, it will be useful for you and you will benefit from it. Babe, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I just believe that the issues we've raised in here in this video will be of great benefit to the viewers, and I hope they have a better relationship and a loving home.
Yeah. Thank you for watching us. See you in our next video.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
for now.